My playthrough of Dredge started off like everyone else's. An angler looking for work, I am shipwrecked off the bay of an island called Greater Marrow. Luckily, a watchful lighthouse keeper spots me before I sink into the murky depths. All this is explained to me by the mayor, a curious man who strikes a deal with me. In exchange for fish to feed Greater Marrow citizens and a small interest taken to improve his town, he offers to provide me a ship. With no other means to make a living, I accept. With the deal struck, there's no time to waste. After familiarizing myself with my ship's navigation, I am ready to get to work. The first stop in my day is a small pocket of cod. While the fishing mechanics are initially tough, I am soon a master. With the cod depleted, it is time to continue moving. Luckily, I didn't have far to go and soon found myself in a school of blue mackerel. Ooh, we got a mackerel. There were more to come. Once again, it is time to move. And with only 4 hours of daylight left, I better move fast. Oh, a squid. A full live well means it's time to set sail home to Greater Marrow. I arrived back in Greater Marrow 2 hours before midnight. Just woke everyone up in the village. My first stop was the fishmonger, who shot down my efforts to make conversation. With the small talk out of the way, it was time to sell my catch. I was then approached by the mayor, who handed me a research component and told me to go visit the shipwright. Like the fishmonger, the shipwright treated my arrival to Greater Marrow with disinterest. She then told me that she could make improvements to my ship and patch up any damage caused by the sea or other things. You take on any damage from the rocks or ... any damage at all. What's that ... all about? But that was a question only experience could answer. I then spent my research component on the hydraulic rod because I like the idea of getting bigger catches. I'm a big catch man, baby. And then decided to rest until the morning. With the beginning of day 2, my attention turns immediately to the sea. I fished all day until I had a full live well, and even managed to snag my first trophy catch. Oh, trophy catch. I then retrieved a message in a bottle I saw floating nearby. In it, a woman recounted the second day of her honeymoon she spent sailing in the Marrows. All appeared to be going well. The husband had even planned her a surprise picnic. But the unknown fate of this couple overwhelmed me with feelings of dread and introspection. I gotta say, getting further out into the water is a scary thought. Open water is one of my greatest fears, if not my greatest fear. Despite these feelings, nighttime snuck up on me, and panic began to set in. I set sail for the nearest island and was grateful when I finally made it to its docks. But the island would not do. With no inhabitants and a live well stocked with fish that were growing stale by the minute, I could not afford to spend a night sheltered in Blackstone's docks. Yeah, so that's the lighthouse there. I think we can make that. Despite my high levels of panic and electrical setbacks along the way. Oh, great. I managed to make it to Greater Marrow safely, and even picked up a friend as I docked. But I was tired and would think about this in the morning. Lucky for me, a local took the opportunity to introduce herself. I couldn't tell if it was her warm welcome, the bright lantern shining in my eyes, or the 24 hours I had spent without sleep that left me feeling uneasy. But I wasn't going to let these questions stop me from my task, so I went and visited the fishmonger, sold my fish, was told by the mayor that it looked like I hadn't slept in a while. There's something off about this mayor. Purchased a weighted line from the shipwright, had it installed, and then went to sleep. The third day followed similarly to the one prior, except with more purpose. The fishmonger last night had requested my help in fulfilling an order of gulf flounder and grey eel for a Greater Marrow citizen. With money as an incentive, I jumped at the opportunity, and within no time, I had acquired both. Maybe this will be the eel? Certainly looks like it could be. With the flounder and eel caught, the order was complete, but it was too early to head home, so I set sail for a message in a bottle I saw floating off the cove. Its contents confirmed my fears of the sea surrounding the Marrows, as its author, who I assumed to be the wife from earlier, recounted their experience being nearly shipwrecked by a rock that appeared out of nowhere. Thoroughly spooked, I decided to turn in for the day. Back in Greater Marrow, I turned in the order to the fishmonger for $44 and picked up another order for a black grouper and 2 squid, the latter of which I was told only feed at night. I was then visited once again by the mayor, who handed me a mysterious package and asked me to deliver it ASAP to the dock worker in Little Marrow so its contents didn't spoil. Despite the time of day, I decided to brave the trip. What's me going here, eh? What is that? That'd be eastbound? I think we can probably make that trip. I feel like it's safe in here, but I also feel like that's what the game wants you to think. For the moment, the channel between the Marrows was safe, and I arrived in Little Marrow a little before 4 in the morning. At the docks, I delivered the package to the dock worker, who carefully hid its contents from my view. He then commented on its freshness and handed me what I assumed to be hush money for my discretion, but my curiosity remained piqued. So I wonder what the mayor and this hooligan are trading back and forth. But the newness of Little Marrow put such questions to the side for now. I then visited Little Marrow's local trader, who offered to buy any special trinkets I found out at sea for a fair price. With nothing to sell, I left to catch up on some much-needed rest. On day 5, I had one simple aim. Alright, let's get busy. We need to make some moolah. Some flounder and cod were the targets of my endeavor, and soon my live well was filling up with both. I even managed to hook my first unique fish, all-seeing cod, and turned into Greater Marrow early to see what price I could fetch for it from the fishmonger. While the all-seeing cod wasn't worth as much as I was hoping for, it contained a patterned handkerchief that puzzled both myself and the fishmonger. I then sold my catch and continued back to my ship, where I noticed the stranger peeking in at me through my cabin's window. The stranger explained to me that he knew secrets about the handkerchief the fishmonger had extracted from the all-seeing cod, and asked me to visit him on Blackstone Isle for more information. Despite the unanswered questions, the stranger left. So we have to go meet this mysterious man who was inside our ship? There was plenty of daylight left, and so I set off to Blackstone Isle. I arrived to Blackstone Isle just after dusk and approached the man standing in the abandoned mansion. He told me that of all things first, he was a collector who had interest in items like the handkerchief for their believed supernatural power. The man then requested my help in finding 5 more items: a ring, a necklace, a watch, a music box, and a key, promising rewards for my cooperation. While I was suspicious of the man's intentions with these items, I reluctantly agreed.